Good day to everyone. Today I am discussing grade 10 last module, mechanics. In that module there are different units. In the first unit we are discussing vectors and scalars. In the first unit we are discussing vectors and scalars. What do you mean by a scalar? What do you mean by scalar? Before that, you should know what do you mean by quantity. A quantity means something you can measure. A quantity means something you can measure it. You know that you can measure your height, length of a room, temperature of the body. So, different quantities you can measure. So, quantity simply means something you can measure it. Physical quantity means something you can measure with the help of a device or an instrument. So physical quantity means something you can measure with the help of an instrument. For example, mass of a body you can measure by using a physical balance. Temperature of a body you can measure by using thermometer. Length of a room you can measure by a scale or ruler. You can measure by a ruler. So different physical quantities we are experiencing in daily life. You can measure these physical quantities with the help of a device or an instrument. So quantity simply means something you can measure. Physical quantity means something we can measure with the help of a device or an instrument. Or a physical quantity simply means it's a quantity that can be measured by using a device or an instrument. So, based on the direction, physical quantities are divided into two. Based on the direction, physical quantities are divided into two. Which are they? The first one is scalars. Scalars means quantities which are having magnitude only. So physical quantities which are having only magnitude only, they are known as scalars. So physical quantities, they are divided into two on the basis of direction. So scalar quantity means a physical quantity which are having magnitude only. Can you give an example? There are different types of examples for scalars. For example, mass, length, time. These are some examples of scalars, scalar quantity. So, why mass is a scalar? Because when you measure mass, for example, mass of an object is 10 kilogram, and you will not mention its direction. There is no need of saying its direction. If you are saying its direction, it is meaningless. For example, my body temperature is 36 degrees Celsius upward. It is meaningless. So, for measuring temperature, only the magnitude is enough. Only magnitude is enough. We don't want any directions. If you are saying direction, it is meaningless. So some quantities, they need magnitude only for expressing. Some quantities we need magnitude only for expressing. They are known as scalar quantities. For example, mass, length, breadth, height, thickness, depth, time. There are so many quantities which are having only magnitude. So scalar quantity means a quantity which are having only magnitude. Scalar quantity means a quantity which are having only magnitude, and they are known as scalars. So scalar quantity you can express only with the help of a magnitude. So mass equal to 10 kilogram. This is the magnitude. The magnitude of the mass is 10 kilogram. We don't want any direction to express mass. Then length of a room is 3 meter. That is its magnitude. Time to 12 p.m. Time 12 p.m. That is its magnitude. Temperature 36 degrees Celsius, its magnitude. In these quantities, we are not using any directions. Only we are using its magnitude. And the magnitudes are expressed in corresponding units. Okay. So here the magnitudes are expressed in corresponding unit. And we are not using any directions for expressing it. So they are simply known as scalar quantity. Next quantity is vector quantity. What do you mean by a vector quantity? What do you mean by a vector quantity? So vector quantity means it is a physical quantity. They are having both magnitude and direction. So vector quantity means it is a physical quantity. It is a physical quantity which are having both magnitude and directions. So some quantity when you express, some physical quantities when you express, you need both magnitude and direction to get a complete idea of the physical quantity. For example, force. Force equal to 3 Newton. Force equal to 3 Newton. 3 Newton is its magnitude. But in order to get complete idea of the force, you must specify its direction. To which direction the force of 3 Newton is applied. We are not expressing it. So in order to get the correct meaning of the force, or in order to get the correct explanation of the force, you need the direction. For example, 3 Newton upward. 3 Newton upward. So now you clearly understood. You are applying a force of 3 Newton upwards. 3 Newton upwards, 3 Newton downward, 3 Newton left, 3 Newtons right, or you can say 3 Newton north, south, east, west. So some quantities for the expression you need both magnitude and direction. So here 3 Newton is its magnitude and this is the direction. So in order to get complete idea of some physical quantities, you need both magnitude and directions. So they are known as vector quantities. So you just remember the magnitude is always expressing, or the magnitude is expressing normally with a number and its unit. So here 3 is it's a number and Newton is its unit. So always or normally the magnitude is represented by a number with a unit. Okay. So 3 Newton is its magnitude, that force magnitude, and upward its direction. And upward its direction. So on the basis of direction, the physical quantities are divided into 2, which are the scalars and vectors. Scalars are having only magnitude. Vectors are having both magnitude and direction. So here we expressed force as a vector quantity. There are other vector quantities are there: displacement, acceleration, velocity. There are so many vector quantities are there. So normally the physical quantities on the basis of direction, they are divided into 2, vectors and scalars. Then what do you mean by negative scalars? What do you mean by negative scalars? Negative scalar. Negative scalar. What do you mean by negative scalar? For example, temperature 10 degrees Celsius. and minus 10 degrees Celsius. Temperatures, if you consider 10 degrees Celsius and minus 10 degrees Celsius. Here the 10 degrees Celsius is positive value and here the 10 degrees Celsius is negative value. You can say these are negative scalars because their magnitudes are same. Their magnitudes are same. That is, their magnitude is 10 degrees Celsius, but their sign, one is positive and another is negative. So here 10 degrees Celsius, it is positive and here it is negative. So the temperature is a scalar, but 10 degrees Celsius is a positive scalar, minus 10 degrees Celsius is a negative scalar. Their values are same. Their values are same, but one is positive, another is negative. So that's why they are known as negative scalars. So negative scalar simply means what? One value is positive and another value is negative, and their magnitudes are same. Their magnitudes are same, but the only difference is what? One is positive, another is negative. Then, what do you mean by negative vector? What do you mean by negative vector? Negative vector simply means their magnitudes are same. Their magnitudes are same, but they are acting in opposite direction. For example, F1, 2 Newton towards north, and F2, 2 Newton towards south. These two vectors are acting in opposite direction. These two vectors are acting in opposite direction. That means one is going north, another is going south, but their values are same. Which are their values is same. Their values are same. So both the values are 2 Newton, but one is going north, another is going south. Their values are same, but they are acting in opposite direction. So they are known as negative vectors. So negative vector means what? Two vectors, how can you say they are negative each other? When their values are same and they act in opposite direction. When they act in opposite direction and their values are same, then you can say they are opposite to each other. That means negative vector. So this is an example of a negative vector. Then how will you represent a vector? Representation of a vector. Representation of a vector. How will you represent a vector? So you know that a vector has a magnitude and a direction. How will you represent magnitude? By a straight line. By a straight line. By a straight line you can represent its magnitude. So the length of the line represents the magnitude of the vector, and the arrowhead represent its direction. So length of the line shows magnitude, length of the line represents magnitude, and the arrow shows direction, and the arrow shows the direction. So how will you represent a vector? A vector has both magnitude and direction. Then how will you represent magnitude? By a straight line. The length of the straight line represents the magnitude. When the length changes, the magnitude changes. And you can give the direction towards right, left, upward, downward, in any way you can give it. So the arrowhead gives the direction. Length of the line represents the magnitude and the arrowhead shows the direction. So this is a vector going right, and this is another vector going left. This is another vector going upward, this is downward. So in every representation we are used a straight line with an arrowhead. So the magnitude of the straight line gives the the magnitude of the magnitude means the length of the straight line, and the arrowhead gives the direction. So this is the way how to represent a vector. So you can represent any vector if you know its magnitude and direction. Magnitude, how will you represent? By the length of the line, and the direction you will represent by the arrowhead. Next I am explaining properties of vectors. Properties of vectors. First one, equal vectors. Equal vectors. How you can say two vectors are equal? Two vectors are equal if they have same magnitude and same magnitude and same direction. For example, these two vectors, they are equal. This is F1 and this is F2. For example, F1, if it is 2 Newton, this also will be 2 Newton, because their length is same. The length of the straight line is same. The length of the straight line is same, and the arrowheads are same. The length of the straight lines are same, and the arrowheads are same. So they are equal. For example, F1 equal to F2. For example, F1 equal to F2, that is 2 Newton equal to 2 Newton. So here the two vectors are same. How can you say two vectors are same? If they have same magnitude and same direction. Same magnitude means the length of the lines, the length of the straight lines should be same. And the direction, same direction means both the arrowhead should be in the same direction. So here the two vectors are equal because they have the same direction and they have the same magnitude. So you can say these two vectors are equal. So equal vectors means vectors with the same magnitude and the same direction. Next, addition of vectors. Addition of vectors. Addition of vectors. Addition of vectors is just similar to the addition of numbers. If two vectors are in the same direction, we will add the magnitudes. For example, F1 equal to 3 Newton, F2 equal to 2 Newton. How will you add these two vectors? Here, the vectors, their magnitudes, the forces, their magnitudes are 3 Newton and 2 Newton. So 3 and 2 are the numbers. So we are adding these two numbers because they are in the same direction. So if the vectors are in the same direction, we will add the magnitudes. And we will give the same direction of the individual vectors. So here the total vector or the sum of this will be 7 Newton. F equal to 7 Newton. F equal to 7 Newton. So F equal to 7 Newton. So here we are adding two vectors. And here the two vectors are in the same direction. If the two vectors are in the same direction, how will you add it? You just add the numbers or you just add the magnitudes and give the same direction of the individual vector if they are in the same direction. If the vectors are in opposite direction, for example, F1 equal to 4 Newton and F2 is 1 Newton. 4 Newton is towards right and 1 Newton is towards left. How will you add these? So here the one vector is 4 Newton towards right and the another vector is 1 Newton towards left. So here the vectors are in opposite direction. When the vectors are in opposite direction, we will subtract or we will subtract the magnitudes. So here the magnitudes are 4 Newton and 1 Newton. So 4 Newton you can consider as positive and 1 Newton it will be minus because they are in opposite direction. So in another way, we are subtracting them. So 4 Newton plus minus 1 Newton. It will be 3 Newton. It will be 3 Newton. Then what will be its direction? So after finding the magnitude, the direction will be the direction of the higher vector. The direction of the higher vector. So the higher vector is 4 Newton. So in the individual vectors, which is higher? 4 Newton is the higher vector. So we are giving the direction of that. So the total vector, the sum will be 3 Newton. It will be 3 Newton towards right. So 3 Newton, how you are getting? Because the individual vectors are 4 Newton and 1 Newton. 4 Newton is towards right and 1 Newton is towards left. If the vectors are in opposite direction, how will you add these vectors? So you are putting plus sign to one vector and minus sign to another vector. So towards right you take as positive and towards left you take as minus. So 4 Newton plus minus 1 Newton, it will be 3 Newton. So in the same way of adding numbers, if the numbers are 3 and minus 4, you are considering the sign also. So in the same way, the vector magnitudes are adding. One is plus, another is minus. Towards right you take as positive, towards left you take as negative. And what will be the direction? The direction of the vector which is obtained by adding, is the sign, is the direction of the individual vector which is having higher magnitude. So here 4 Newton is the higher magnitude. So we are giving the direction of 4 Newton to the vector which is obtained after adding 4 Newton and 1 Newton. 4 Newton is towards right and 1 Newton is towards left. So you are getting 3 Newton which is going right. So this is the way we are adding vectors if they are in opposite direction. If they are in the same direction, you are adding them, just adding the vectors, adding the magnitudes and giving the sign of individual vector. If the vectors are in opposite direction, how will you add it? So one vector you are taking as plus, another vector you are taking as minus. So, and the direction will be the direction of the higher vector. Next, multiplication of vector. Multiplication simply means if f is a vector, 3f will be the 3 times of the f value. For example, if f is represented by like this, so the length of the straight line represents its magnitude. So 3f means the length of the line becomes 3 times of the previous value. So this is f and this is 3f. So here we are having two vectors, f and 3f. 3f is the 3f vector. It is the 3 times of the f vector. So here 3 means, what do you mean by 3 means? The length of the line of the vector f and the length of the line of the vector 3f. They are 3 times. So here the length of the line is 3 times of this line. So here we are multiplying the vectors. When you multiply the vectors, the magnitude of the vector is multiplying. Magnitude of the vector is multiplied and the direction will be the same. So the length of the line is multiplying. And the direction remains same. Next, I am explaining resultant vector. What do you mean by resultant vector? resultant vector. What do you mean by resultant vector? Resultant vector means it's a single vector which is obtained from a number of vectors. For example, if we are having F1 equal to 2 Newton, F2 equal to 3 Newton, F3 equal to 4 Newton, then F equal to 2 Newton plus 3 Newton plus 4 Newton. It will be 9 Newton. So 9 Newton is the resultant of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton. That means the resultant vector is a single vector. The resultant vector is always a single vector. Here the single vector is 9 Newton. So the resultant vector is a single vector which is obtained from a number of vectors. So that means what is the effect of 9 Newton? Or what is the effect of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton? The same effect can be produced by a single vector. The same effect can be produced by a single vector, that is 9 Newton. So the effect of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton is produced by a single vector, that is 9 Newton. So 9 Newton is the resultant vector, or 9 Newton is the resultant of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton. So resultant vector means it's a single vector which is obtained from a number of vectors. So the action of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton. 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton. The action of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton is obtained, or you can get by a single vector, that is 9 Newton. So 9 Newton is the resultant of 2 Newton, 3 Newton and 4 Newton. Next, tail to head method. Tail to head method. This is a method for getting the resultant vector. If you are having two vectors, F1 is this one, F2 is this one, how will you apply tail to head method to find the resultant? That means F1, this is the head of F1, this is the tail of F1, and we are keeping the tail of F2 to the head of F1. This is the head. So here you are keeping the tail of the second vector to the head of the first vector. That's why its name is tail to head method. So in tail to head method, what you are doing, you are keeping tail of the second vector to the head of the first vector. Then you are finding the resultant. So for example, if F1 is 4 Newton and F2 is 5 Newton. So after keeping this, you will get a single vector, that is the resultant vector, F equal to 4 Newton plus 5 Newton equal to 9 Newton. So 9 Newton is the resultant vector of 4 Newton and 5 Newton. How we are obtain this? How you obtain this? By using tail to head method. Here you are keeping tail of the second vector to the head of the first vector. Tail of the second vector to the head of the first vector, and you are getting a single vector, and that is known as the resultant of the individual vectors. So this method is known as tail to head method. By using tail to head method, we can do a problem. This is F1 4 Newton, F2 2 Newton, F3 4 Newton, and again F4 1 Newton. How will you add these four vectors? By tail to head method. By tail to head method, how will you add this? So keep the F2, the tail of F2, you keep the head of the 4 Newton vector. So you are keeping the tail of F2 at the head of the F1. So F1, this is 4 Newton, this is 2 Newton. This is 4 Newton and 2 Newton. Then this is 4 Newton and then keep the tail there, 1 Newton. So 4 Newton, 2 Newton. 4 Newton, 2 Newton, 4 Newton towards left and 1 Newton towards left. So how will you add these two vectors? By tail to head method. You keep the tail of the second vector to the head of the first vector, like this way, 4 Newton, 2 Newton. Then you keep the tail of the fourth vector to the head of the third vector. So that is 1 Newton and 4 Newton. So towards right you are taking as positive. So 4 Newton, resultant vector F equal to 4 Newton plus 2 Newton, then plus minus 4 Newton, then plus minus 1 Newton. So it will be 6 Newton, then 4 Newton, then it will be 2 Newton, 2 Newton minus 1 Newton, that will be 1 Newton. That will be 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is the resultant of these 4 vectors. So these 4 vectors are replaced by 1 Newton. So 1 Newton you can tell it is the resultant of 4, 2, 1 and 4 Newton. So 1 Newton is the resultant of 4 Newton. So here the two vectors we are arranging tail to head method. Here the two vectors we are arranging tail to head method. So tail to head method means what? The tail of the second vector is we are placing at the head of the first vector. Here the tail of the fourth vector is keeping at the head of the third vector. So this will be the 6 Newton. 6 Newton towards right and this will be 5 Newton towards left. So when you add this you will get 1 Newton towards right. 1 Newton towards right. So this is the way how to apply tail to head method in the problems.